everybody. Thank you all so much for joining us this Training Tuesday. Hopefully you guys have some staff in your office. I know everything's a little light this close to the holiday season. All right, so let's jump into Training Tuesday. Today we are going to have some updates, reminders. We'll do our countdown. We're going to talk about BidBuy, and then we'll tell you where you can find some additional training, and we'll finish up with the life hack for today. All right, updates and reminders. So CPO Notice 2023.10 provides notice of the Local Food, Farms, and Jobs Act, which was part of 30 ILCS 595. This establishes the goal of 20% of all food and food products purchased by state agencies and state-owned facilities shall be local farm and food products. There is a requirement for a publication. That publication does require the agencies to publish a general notice on BidBuy titled FY23 Local Food, Farms, and Jobs Act Report, and that has to include the total dollar value of food and food products purchased for fiscal year 2023 and the total dollar value of local farm or food products purchased in the fiscal year 2023. Our commitment to diversity, we do have lots of information. So we had a Training Tuesday a couple weeks ago about commitment to diversity. Thank you to our DEI team. We are adding new videos out there for vendors. Those are coming here shortly. So you understand what vendors are being told. I encourage you to check out those C2D resources on our CPO website. Again, I do not believe that those videos are posted just yet, but they're coming very soon. All right, countdown, 2 days until Thanksgiving. Hopefully you have your turkey and all your groceries bought and the menu finalized. And here's to hoping that everything turns out just perfect and there's no burnt turkeys. All right, New Year's Eve is only 40 days away, so make sure your holiday shopping is, getting wrapped up or get prepared for it this Friday. All right, BidBuy. Let's talk about BidBuy, just some general overall reminders and tips, tricks, and advice on BidBuy. So just a reminder on the BidBuy document status. Document status means requisition, bid, bid tab, PO, but really just bid instead of bid tab. But that bid tab is a result of the bid. So all procurement should start at that requisition phase. At this point in the BidBuy process, the agency is establishing their request to procure. Other entities are able to weigh in. Please note that the other entities may require documentation for review, such as the CMS requires the CMS procurement justification form. If there are services, a labor relations checklist may be required prior to the other entities, such as CMS or others, being able to approve your requisition. As an additional note, though, please note that the labor relations checklist is not a CPOGS form or process, and we are not involved in that process. So you will have to talk with CMS or your APO in order to determine if that labor relations checklist needs to be completed and where to obtain that from. At the bid, the agency is requesting to publish or send specifications to vendors or provide notice of the procurement if it's an emergency or a sole source. The bid due date on the general tab alerts vendors as to when the state will open the bid and review the submissions. At the bid stage, we can answer vendor questions that are through a publication or an amendment, and we can publish those Q&A. After the bid due date, we have the ability to review the bid tab. It is very important to assure that all vendor attached documents, so the actual documents that the vendors are attaching to their quotes, are marked as confidential. If the vendor or agency does not mark them as confidential, the SPO may return that bid tab to you for corrections. Not checking all, and when I say all, I do really mean all of those documents that are attached by vendors. That can really be an issue because you can accidentally publish personally identifiable information or sensitive information that is not supposed to be public at all. And we have a responsibility to protect sensitive information. That is covered in CPO Notice 2019.07. Prior to submitting that bid tab for approval, the agency must attach all communication and any other documentation that was obtained up to that point. So for instance, if you had to obtain corrected financial disclosures from a vendor, those financial disclosures that have been corrected would need to be attached. Or if they were registered in IPG, you'd be attaching that IPG information. The bid tab overall does interface with the PPB clearinghouse. PPB states that on their website that the clearinghouse service is provided so that users can identify proposed contracts through a single research tool and allows the user to sort that research automatically. The purchase order is the agency's request to enter into a contract. The agency shall not enter into a contract without SPO written approval. Give me just a second, I want to make sure we have everybody muted. All right, a contract that is entered into without SPO approval is voidable, and that is per section 10-10 of the Illinois Procurement Code. So please make sure that you have your SPO written approval prior to entering into any resulting contract or having those services or goods provided. Overall, when you are emailing your SPO, please make sure that you're using the most current document status. So that's going to be R-the reference number, or B-the reference number, or P-the reference number, depending on which status you are currently at. All right, overall general information to make sure that you are including in your publications, your need by dates or your expected resulting term. I see this a lot with small purchases where we are neglecting to actually tell the vendor what our expectation is as far as when or where services have to be provided, or for how long potentially, or if we're buying goods, exactly when we're needing them to be delivered by. We also need to make sure that it's very clear to our vendors how we're going to award this. So if you're ordering several different widgets or goods, those may be different lines. Most of the time we're awarding by the total cost. So who can provide us all the items at the lowest cost possible? However, there are times where an agency may want to actually award by line. Either which way you are doing it, please make sure that that is clear in your solicitation or in your request for quotes if it's a small purchase to your vendors. Also, if there's going to be a site visit or a bid conference, make sure that you are utilizing that sign-in sheet that is required by CPO Notice 2020.03. If you do not utilize this, it is a potential audit finding for you, so let's not do that. Also, with a site visit or bid conference, it is the best to not have those directly following like a holiday weekend or a holiday week. Those may be times that vendors could be out of the office, have pre-planned vacation time that they're going to be out, and they may not be monitoring our websites in order to make sure that they're in attendance for those. So again, although they are very important to several procurements, it is important to watch when we are having those. All right, let's talk about BidBuy specifications. So what should go in the items tab versus what should go in the attachment? This can a lot of times be determined whether you're doing a small purchase or a competitive procurement. On a small purchase, sometimes those items that we're needing or services that we're needing to have provided can be easily described, and those specs can be easily put into the items tab for vendors to submit their pricing to. However, if there are some more detailed specifications that you need to supply to vendors for them to understand what goods or services you need, I would suggest making a RFQ if it's a small purchase, or a, for an ISD or RFP, we're obviously going to be using those CPO generated templates, and use those on your attachments tab. Make sure that your specifications are clearly defined. There shouldn't be any wiggle room, anything ambiguous in there about what is or is not required from the resulting award. Also, be consistent. If you start to refer to what you need as widget A, make sure that that is consistent with what's in the industry, and that you are consistently referring to it by the same name. If you started out calling it widget A and then called it widget A+, that might be confusing to vendors because they're going to potentially think that you are asking for two separate things. So again, consistency is key. Overall, we do need to have the ability to tie pricing to the resulting goods or services. If we are asking for, widgets, and we are asking the vendor for a single price, but there are several different kinds of widgets, that may affect how our pricing or how the vendor is able to provide pricing. So again, just make sure that we have the ability to really connect pricing with what we're asking in those specifications. All right, CPOGS Training Center. This is where you can find all of our available trainings. We do have the Introduction to Illinois Procurement coming up here Wednesday, December 6th. If you signed up and you will not be able to attend, please let me know so that we can remove you from the registration and open up that spot to someone else. If you are not registered and you would like to be, please look at our future dates. All right, our BidBuy monthly training, this will be happening Wednesday, December 13th. You do not have to attend all day, and it is my goal to not have to show a recording. Normally we do not. If you attended this past month, thank you again so much for bearing with me as I was sick and unable to actually present, and we used some past recordings. So thank you all for all of you that did attend, and I promise a more better experience in December. So if you were on last month, join us again this month just to make sure that you get to hear it all fresh. And again, for this monthly BidBuy training, you can attend just a portion of the day or all day if you desire. Our BidBuy practice sessions, we'll have those being held December 14th and the 21st. This is an opportunity to just bring anything that you have questions about in BidBuy and just its functionality, and we can walk through that together in the training environment. All right, so your life hack kind of tied to Thanksgiving again. I would suggest that you triple or more line your trash cans before you start cooking your big Thanksgiving meal. This will make it easier to take out the trash throughout the day without having to also stop to reline it each time. Additionally, this could help you if something starts to leak through that first layer. You'll have those other layers already in there. All right, thank you so much. If you have questions, please reach out to cpogs.training@illinois.gov. Thank you all, and have a very wonderful Thanksgiving.